As I record this, we're in week 11 of the stay-at-home orders. We are just waiting for normalcy to return. We're full of uncertainty and doubt and fear. What's going on now? What's going to happen in the future? It is. It's been a blessing to be home and to have this time together, but there's definitely been some bumps in the road. You know, when I think about when's another time that I felt this kind of doubt or uncertainty, it reminded me of when we brought home our first baby. Entering into motherhood, I wasn't sure what I was doing. I still don't. I was wondering, was this going to get better? Was I going to figure it out? How could I release the panic that was happening? And as I thought about that, I saw there were tools and tips and techniques that I used, and I personally used them, and I encouraged the women that I work with professionally to use tools that would help them to be able to cope with uncertainty. So in today's video, I want to talk about how to deal with uncertainty. There were 10 tips that I came up with that will help us to get through the pandemic, motherhood, or just even life. Here we go. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I'm a mom and a certified perinatal mental health specialist. I make videos for you, coping during pregnancy, postpartum, and in motherhood. Today, we're going to go over a very general topic that I think will help anybody, and that's how to deal with uncertainty. I came up with a list of 10 tips, so let's jump right in. Number 1, I think the number 1 tip would be flexibility. On the range of thinkers, we have rigid thinkers all the way to flexible thinkers. And you can pause and think about where you fall on that spectrum. You know, when we come against change or something we're uncertain about, or something that has a lot of unknowns to it, we can decide for ourselves, are we closer to the rigid thinker or the flexible thinker? And that's a choice that we make to be able to adjust our mindset in rolling with what's going on. Because the rigid thinker has a lot more emotions during times of uncertainty. So how to shift yourself on that spectrum closer to maybe a middle, or adding in a lot more flexibility. Tip number 2 is staying in the moment. It's very easy in motherhood or during any difficult situation, the pandemic, to jump far, far ahead and start playing through a lot of questions of what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? We don't know what the future is going to hold. We don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. So my advice, stay in this moment. Make sure that you are focusing close to where you are and what you do know for sure. Tip number 3 is right along the same lines of stopping that irrational thinking of what if thinking and stopping the worst case scenario thinking. Those thoughts where you're already imagining the worst case scenario happening. Use your red stop sign, pause. Has that happened yet? Even if you see indicators or your fear is rising up to a level of panic that what if that happens, or that's going to be the outcome, worst case scenario. Let's not rise up in our emotions before we're actually there. We drain ourselves before the worst case scenario has actually happened. And chances are it won't even get close to what your imagination had played out. Tip number 4 is really recognizing what you can control and what you cannot control. I've even used this as a journal entry in some of my counseling sessions with women. When you sit down and identify all of the areas of which you cannot control, it's outside of your power. That helps us to release it and let it go. When we identify the list of things what we can control, about our health, about our body, about our mind and thinking, about our household, about our mindsets, about what we're exposed to, those things that we can control, that helps us to now create an action plan. An action plan is where I can write out 3 things that this week I can actually jump into the driver's seat of my life and feel like I'm controlling it, I'm making those choices. If my channel is helpful to you in learning these tips of how to improve your life, how to go from stressed to refreshed, please subscribe. Ring that little bell. It'll put my videos right into your feed each Friday when I load them. Tip number 5 is to write down the facts. The facts are going to be what separates head from heart, logic from illogical. It helps you to recognize that what's in your mind and the facts that are going on about your health, about your job, about your marriage, about the kids, those facts are bullet points because we waver. I need that piece of paper with bullet points to pull me through the whole week, because one day I can feel strong and confident about how it's going and what's going to happen next. But when I'm up against uncertainty in a pandemic or motherhood or other areas of life, I may waver in what I thought yesterday. Now today I woke up with a lot more of my panic and fear. But if I can go back to that concrete list, I can help to center myself back to a rational, logical thinking. Tip number 6 is to decide where you get your information. There is lots coming at us. In this day and age of social media and instant news, we can get updates and numbers and statistics and motherhood advice of all different varieties. But we have to be thoughtful. What is the source that I'm using? Is it research-based? Is it reliable? Is it trustworthy? Or is it simply one person's opinion or an extremist in their ideas? That way, I can make sure that I'm attracting into my life only the things that are similar to the way I think and feel calming to me. Number 7, for dealing with uncertainty, is looking at your own self-talk. What is the way that you talk to yourself? What is the way you view yourself? My favorite technique is the I am statements. I am strong. I am courageous. I am confident. I am healthy. Those I am statements draw us towards the positive. They draw us towards a belief that we even want to have. Because you may say to me, well, I don't feel that way about myself all the time, or there's not enough evidence to say I really am that quality. But the more that you speak that to yourself, the more that you write it on that Post-it note and put it on your bathroom mirror and you believe it, you say it until you believe it, until you can find the evidence of, wow, I guess I did do something strong today. I did handle that with resilience. Tip number 8 is to surround yourself with like-minded people. People that share your philosophies, your value systems. It's so important when you're going through a very difficult time to not get lost introducing other people's ideas into your head that could be influencing you. So make sure that the people and the environments that you go into, the conversations that you're having, that they are by like-minded, positive people. Tip number 9, feel your feelings. You are full of emotions. And so many times we give ourselves permission only to feel the pleasant feelings, not the unpleasant feelings. We fear that they're going to flood us or that we're not going to bounce back from them. But truth be told, our feelings are shifting every 2 to 3 hours. You're not going to stay in a place. Make sure that as you're recognizing the pleasant or unpleasant feelings, go there. Allot time for yourself that says, this is when I'm going to have a private moment in my bedroom, crying in my pillow, writing in my journal, speaking to my husband, crying on the shower floor, letting those emotions really come out so that nothing is being bottled up. you will recognize that releasing that a little bit at a time is going to be your best tip. It is going to be the way that it doesn't bottle up and long-term cause you issues. Tip number 10, be kind to yourself. This is difficult. Whether you are sitting here in the pandemic watching this video, or you've just found out that you're pregnant, you are coping with the first few days or weeks home with a newborn, you are in that toddler phase, you've got school-aged kids, high school-aged kids, and you're thinking, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I don't like this uncertainty. I don't like the panic and the fear and all of the parts that are unpredictable. And that's okay. But to be kind to yourself is to be able to say, today, you did the best you could. And whatever you can learn from, you'll take that into tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor, a certified perinatal mental health specialist, and a mom. I get it. I make these videos to take my personal and professional techniques to you. I want you to be able to find the best, easy self-care tools through pregnancy, postpartum, and in motherhood. We're going to do this together. Today, subscribe, click the bell below, follow every Friday when the next video comes out, and see if it's helpful information for you. Take care of yourself today.